Meet Alex and Mike, who, after meeting in the summer of 2022, decided to start something new because they shared a passion for all things AI, startups and business ideas. Fast forward to today, and they are the co-founders of the successful platform My AskAI, which is a tool that provides AI-powered customer service chatbots. They are clear on who their customer is, they are bringing in nearly $40,000 per month, and they still have a 2-person team. But their first idea was rejected by OpenAI, and part of 2023 saw their initial idea stagnate. And in this video, we're going to go through their journey. This will be valuable for you if you are a developer, if you have a startup, or you're thinking about creating a new idea online. We'll go through the product that they have, the pivots they've made, how they acquire customers, the tools that they use to have the platform on, and at the end there'll be 3 key takeaways which will save you lots of time and money if you're starting a new idea today. So the story starts with their first product that they created and the rejection they got.
We started with building something for students to write their personal statements in the UK, so the kind of application letter that you send to universities. Because we knew that was kind of a blank page problem for a lot of students. And so we initially started building something like that, built a kind of MVP in a few days. And then at that time, you had to get approval from OpenAI for any idea that you come up with. And they didn't like our idea. So we never actually launched that.
After building that tool, they learned a lot about the different AI models, including fine-tuning and embedding. And they started work on a new product idea.
What if we built something that you could just upload a PDF to, upload a website to, whatever, and then out of that, you would create something where you could just ask questions to it and get some value out. And so that was kind of how the original version of AskAI started.
They built this on Bubble, and they actually pre-launched it. It was very broad in the ways that you can use it, but they brought in sales before they actually launched. And Mike says there was a lot of hype around at the time. However, the product began to stagnate. Here is Mike explaining what happened next.
It was probably September-ish time. The first few months we'd been growing consistently, and then we kind of reached a point where we were stagnating a bit, and we just weren't really, we went from kind of a sale every day or several sales every day to a couple of sales a week. And we're trying to work out kind of why that was. And one of the fundamental things we realized was we got all these things that we could build and all these marketing channels that we could approach, but we just didn't have the data to decide which one to go after. And so we basically said to ourselves, okay, if we were to look at all of our paying customers, all the people who are giving us money today, we should just go with the use case that is most popular amongst them and just double down on that. And so when we kind of dug into the data, asked people how they're using it, we found something like 70% of our users were using it in some form for customer support.
What's interesting about this is that their customer numbers actually reduced, but this is beneficial, as Mike explains here.
Yeah, so it's going well right now. Since we kind of focused on this customer support niche, and is kind of been more on the kind of B2B SaaS side, and now we're kind of getting more e-commerce businesses as well. We've just kind of been able to restart that growth phase and also work out much more clearly about where our ICP is and how to reach them. And so as a result of that, like, we're no longer stagnating. We're just under $40,000 a month revenue, with like pretty decent margins. And while the kind of overall number of customers has come down because it's less of a kind of B2C product and it's more of a B2B product, the revenue per user has kind of probably close to like 5 or 10 times. So it is kind of better for us. We deal with fewer customers, more focused niche and higher value customers.
Next, we asked Mike what channels he uses for marketing. And this next part is interesting too, because it relates back to knowing exactly who their customer is.
We're still working on kind of consistent, repeatable channels. I think the ones that are probably still strongest for us are probably firstly, we have a lot of integrations. So integrations with Intercom, Zendesk, HubSpot, and so people find us through the marketplaces. Reddit is quite a good one for us as well. Like people find us directly through there, and that was a kind of surprise to us. We actually get some enterprise customers directly through that.
Wow. Yeah.
And we get some who just kind of organically find us through Google. We've put out quite a lot of content now, and while I wouldn't say that's kind of a big channel for us, we do have some presence there, and that does help. And then we're also experimenting a bit with cold outreach as well at scale. So we're starting to get a couple of leads through that.
Now, a big concern for many people is as their platform grows, whether their no-code tools that they originally started with are going to be able to grow with them. Now, we asked Mike if they're still using Bubble and if they have plans to change in the future. Here's what he says.
Most of pretty much everything you see and interact with is all Bubble. And that's been, we've debated a few times, like, is there a point at which you move away from Bubble and you go to kind of coded platform? And to be honest, we haven't heard of a decent argument for it. So far, none of our enterprise customers, most of them don't even know. And those that do know don't care. We have been able to kind of scale it like very reliably. Like it's not, it probably, compared to costs of things like Vercel, it's comparable, if not cheaper. And the biggest advantage is it's allowed us to keep like a really small team of just me and Alex building. And I think like because he also uses things like Cursor for his development now, and so we use like even fewer kind of offshore developers and things to help us with little tasks. Like I think that's gone down to almost nil now.
So you can see that Mike and Alex have been through this journey in order to get to where they are now. And after all that experience and also their success, here is what Mike says about what 2 lessons they have learned throughout this journey.
Just do something. Just like you can kind of overcomplicate, over analyze situations, and we very much have the attitude of just putting something out there and getting feedback as quickly as possible on it. Sometimes that results in some bugs, but people kind of expect bugs, and a lot of the time, as long as you're solving a decent problem for them, then they're kind of willing to accept them, especially as it means that it's clear that you're moving and you're doing things quickly. So I think like we wouldn't have got to this idea had we not tried like starting with a student app basically, and that was very, very, very far from where we are now. But it was because of that we're able to go on this journey. So I think like you start doing one thing and then you kind of follow the signals to get to the thing that you're actually going to do. And who knows, maybe like with My AskAI, it's again just a kind of stepping stone to something we do in 5 years. I don't know, like we could take all the learnings from that to do something 10 times, 100 times the size. Whenever I now think about any business idea, rather than thinking, could I build it? I think, how would I sell it? Like, what is the distribution channel? Like, that is the most important thing for anyone starting building a product, because realistically, it's so easy to build pretty much anything nowadays. Like you've got Bubble, you've got no-code tools, you've got things like Replit's Agent Builder, you've got Claude. There's just so many different ways in which you can build very complicated things with zero kind of technical nous. But the thing that is still always going to be difficult is how do you find something that people want? How do you make them pay for it? How do you get more customers scalably? And so starting out with that as your angle is hugely valuable, because it kind of can embed how you're going to make your first sales and things like that.
Now, the second one wouldn't be possible if there weren't no-code tools such as Bubble. And if you want to learn more about how to use Bubble, then go to our complete Bubble course inside nocode.mba, where you're going to be taught by the top no-code experts, not just on tools such as Bubble, but also Flutterflow, how to code with AI, Webflow, and much more. Now, if you found this video useful, then give it the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Go check out My AskAI. I'll leave a link in the description, and there'll also be a link to a playlist of other no-code success stories. Thank you for watching, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.